There you go. Okay, so I just kind of gently pushed in some sockets, okay? Then what I'm going to do is start to, I'm looking at my straight on shot, okay? So I'm referencing my straight on shot, and he's got one eye that's really big and the other eye is kind of squinted. So you can actually just physically push the clay down, and this will make it kind of look like it's squinting. Okay, so I'm starting to kind of even make the divot of the eye squint a little bit. And then his other eye is really kind of up, like he's going, oh! Sound effects are good.
So
okay.
Since it's...
What is it saying?
The numbers?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's...
Okay.
Yeah, and it says rec right there, which is perfect. Okay, so I've got my eye sockets. Now I'm going to actually put the eyeballs in there. Okay, so I have an extra piece of clay over here. And this is kind of trial and error. Is it the right size? I don't know. I have to kind of gauge by putting it up here and going, whoa, that's way too big. Tear off some, roll it in your hands again, put it back on there and see, is that about right? Still way too big, so I'm going to cut it in half again. And then it might start to kind of get there now, okay? So one thing that we don't see from this is his muzzle and his nose. So I'm going to stop, and before I really do the eyes, I'm going to rotate it sideways. You can keep your recording going. I'm going to kind of build up his nose here a little bit. And so I've got different tools over here. I'm going to borrow a fettling knife for a second, and I'm just going to cut out what kind of looks like an oval. And I'm going to see, is this the right size? Is it too big? I'm kind of looking at it and kind of referencing it. Okay, that's about right. Okay, and it's not going to look right. It kind of looks piggish right now. Okay, that's not Poe, that's a pig. All right, it's not supposed to look exactly like it's supposed to look right off the bat. Okay, guys, it never does. Okay, it always has to go through a phase of transformation. Okay, so anytime you are putting two pieces of clay together, you want to score and slip the two pieces of clay together. So I have my slip here in this container and toothbrush, and I just grab the slip and score that, and then I also want to score and slip the opposite side, or the side that it's going to kind of be glued to. And then I want you to see this, because this is really important, and I'm going to try to do this for the video too. I don't put it straight on like that, because I might accidentally trap an air bubble in between there. I'm going to start at the bottom and kind of roll it up, and I'm pushing it into the egg as I'm doing this. And what that's doing is it's kind of layering it like that, pushing the air out between the two pieces that I'm putting together. And then I'm going to come back with my finger and kind of smear the seam together, okay? And whenever you're putting two pieces of clay together, and it wasn't quite center, so I kind of moved it, slid it over a little bit, you need to think of 3 S's: score, slip, and seal. So I'm smearing the seams together. You'll see this as I kind of rotate it. You'll see that I'm smearing it together. That's sealing. Sealing the two pieces of clay together, bonding them together so that I don't have any air bubbles in there, and it's now almost like one piece of clay instead of two pieces of separate pieces of clay. Okay? Again, his nose is not the right shape, so I'm going to start to pinch and mold the shape and make it a little less piggish and a little more Poe-ish, if you will. And his nose is kind of slightly tipped because his head is actually tipped. Okay, so I'm going to kind of slightly tip it, and then I kind of push my thumbs in to make like where the nostrils are for the nose. Again, it doesn't look quite right away. And then it's way too big, and I'm going to go ahead and show this to you. I'm going to rotate it around so you can kind of see, well, again, it's kind of piggish, way too big of nostrils. So, but I pinch and push and smear and get those nostrils to be kind of much smaller. And now it's starting to take a little bit better shape. okay? So before I do the eyes, I'm kind of really getting the muzzle / nose, and then I'm going to draw with a skewer here what is kind of where his mouth might start, okay? And it's kind of tipped or tilted as well, okay? And then there's usually a line that comes down here. So I'm kind of just drawing with my skewer at first. Then I'm going to get my fingers in here and I'm going to pinch and move the clay. So there's a lot of molding that happens with the clay, and it definitely goes through lots of phases where it just does not look right. You're like, oh man, that is not how it's supposed to be. And don't freak out. That's okay. Allow it to kind of go through this transition. Okay, so let me leave it like it was. But it's starting to kind of take on the shape and the form of the mouth. Right, kind of does look like a gorilla right now, okay? Because it's too exaggerated. But then I'm going to push the lips back in. And I would spend more time on this, but you can see that just by shaping the lips and changing that shape, it's a little less like it was before, okay? But, okay, let's push pause for a sec. Sorry.